I wanted to introduce Melody Rae Kandil here, my great friend on the CanDo Podcast today. Super excited to have her. It's long overdue. Melody is such a big inspiration to me. We met, 4 years ago at a business / function event, like a party, and
yeah,
I was just so drawn to you by your personality. Your smile literally lights up the room. You laugh at all my dumb jokes. You've got the most beautiful heart, and it was just like, man, this girl is incredible. I have to get to know her, and we've been friends ever since. So Mel, thanks for coming on today. It is awesome to have you.
Thank you for having me. And the feeling is so mutual.
It's just, really, I think that it's that Midwestern upbringing. I grew up in Michigan. You grew up in Cincinnati. Talk about, your upbringing and why it shaped you to be the person that you are today.
I mean, I come from a family that's super connected and loving, and we've just always supported each other and been there for each other. And I think that, even my cousins, my grandparents, my uncle, it's just, I feel like when you have that solid family connection, you can do anything, and it teaches you the value of family. And it's always made me want to have my own family. So coming from a mom who has freaking a solid character, she's strong as hell and always tells me like it is, but is sensitive. And then having a dad that was ferocious and tenacious with my basketball, and always showed up for me. It showed me what it was like to have great parents, even though they weren't together. So I lived in a household that was broken up, but I was also felt okay as a kid. I mean, there was times you had like ups and downs, of course, like everyone else, but I think I always held on to the love that came through everyone. And that's what's always stayed inside of me.
Well, I think that the love is the most critical aspect, and it's really my favorite word, because growing up, love got you through everything. You could have a hard day, but there was always a hug from your mom, or a hug from your dad, or just a high five from your brother or your sister or your friends. And it's really incredible how the word love just brings so much happiness. Like I say the word, and your face lights up.
It does. It's my favorite.
Yeah, love is the answer, and dancing too. I mean, for those that don't know Mel, and you get a chance to follow her on her social media, she is also always talking about love and the importance of love and friendship and what the different types of love, not just all. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Where does that passion for music, and you talked about love coming from your family, where do you get that musical itch, if you will?
Well, my whole family's in music. My mom's a singer. So actually a cute little story. My name was going to be either Melody or Harmony, and they chose Melody. So when I have a daughter, I'm going to name her Harmony. And then we'll have Melody and harmony together. Yeah, music's just always been a big part of my life. I grew up listening to it. My mom's like, I used to dance around with you guys in the belly and played all the music. My mom and my uncle sang together. They did like duos, and my mom did the Grand Ole Opry when I was like 4 years old. She sang on the Grand Ole Opry. And then now my mom still DJs. That's cool. And so does my brother.
So it really is in your blood.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Have you ever done DJ yourself?
No, I've never DJ'd. It's funny because my older brother is really into it. And even TJ, the younger one, he loves playing with it and doing it when we're at like family parties. But I never really got into it. And I'm I'm not going to say I'm fully introverted, but I'm more introverted than my mom and my brother.
Right. So,
yeah.
So having said that, what activities you do that get you out of your comfort zone, you say you're introverted, but you do a lot of things that are outside your comfort zone? How do you psych yourself up? Where do you get the confidence to do that?
I think that I spend so much time alone that I rejuvenate myself and refill my cup to where when I go out, I'm ready to go out. And even if I'm not, I'm going usually when I'm stepping out of my house, it's with people that I love. So it's easy to be open and myself and have fun. And then with people that I don't know, I'm intrigued to learn. I love to listen to people. So I think sometimes people think that I might be, I don't want to say the word that I was going to use.
Say the word.
You might have a little resting bitch face is how they say, but it's more so like, I just love to listen when I first meet people. So of course you met me and like, I'm going to be vibrant and happy and everything with you, but I'm more so listen to others than express myself. And I think as I've gotten older, I've learned how important it is to share myself as well, so we can connect. And it also helps you. Like, it helps me a lot to say the things that I'm feeling in my soul to my close friends. Now, I don't share with everyone. I'm still a very personal person and like to keep things to myself. But with the people that I love, I've learned how important it is to just share, even if it feels like it's a little scary at times. If they love you, they're always going to show up and be there for you.
Talk about the transition from basketball and your love of basketball now to modeling and acting. I mean, it really is a 180.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think sports teach you so much. I think every kid should play a sport one time in their life. And growing up, it just taught me so much about courage and vulnerability and showing up and putting in effort and hard work and teamwork and just the camaraderie with your teammates. It teaches you so many elements that you need later in life. Well, you need it at all times in life, but when you're in business, you need most of these things that you learn while you're playing basketball or whatever sport you're in. And I think that it was just such a wonderful experience for me growing up playing it, because I was so obsessed with it. Like, I was out on the court every day, all day. Like, when I was a kid, I don't think anyone could beat me. As a kid, even like boys. Like, I would go against anyone.
I'd love to see your face light up. You remember the day when you got your first basketball? Talk to me about that.
I remember I made my first shot. I was in Loveland, Ohio, and we were on this court, my dad and I, where I played for years in my life. All the neighborhood kids would come there and we would do these games up and down the court from like, pickup games for hours upon hours. And so when I was young, I was 5 years old. My dad brought me to that same court and I was out there just trying to push it up. I just wanted to get in so bad. And then finally I was like, boom, pushed it in. I was so excited. Like, I'll never forget that moment in my life. And I'm super forgetful. I forget a lot of things in childhood, but that one I'll never forget. And from there, it was just like, I was in love with this game. And I played with boys until I was probably 13. And then they didn't let me play with them anymore. And then I went to 17-year-old girls. So when I was 13, I played in a 17-year-old leagues and would kill it. They'd be like, who is this girl? That's why I'm saying, like, at 13, I was like, you know what? I could take anybody. Come on, let's go. I played with, what's his name? What's his name? Is it OJ Mayo?
Yeah, OJ Mayo.
Yes.
He played.
Okay,
he played for USC.
But he came from Ohio, right?
I'm not sure.
I think it was him that was in the league with me when I was 16. And my dad talks about it all the time. Or maybe he was 16 at the time. And I played, the boys asked me to play in the game. And so I played in the game with the guys that day. And that's what it was. I don't even know why I had 16. The boys asked me to play in the game and I scored 16 points against his team. And OJ was on that team. And my dad will never forget it. He talks about it all the time. Like, I wish you could talk to my dad. You'd love my dad. He'll tell you everything about my basketball career.
I can't. That's awesome. Do you have a particular game or a particular, was that like your aha moment where you're like, hey, I belong here and this is I mean, you talked about it earlier, but like, was that the one moment where you're like, holy crap, I'm really good at this thing?
I mean, as a kid, I can't, there wasn't even a moment. It was just, I knew I walked on the court like I could take on anybody, Adam. I'm telling you, I would turn into another person. I'd have my headphones in. I'd come in like, I'd look up, size up the competition, like, what's this going to be today? Let's go.
I love it. I love it. So that leads me to a question I got. What advice would you give people, that are going through adversity or a negative situation? Because you seem to always have a positive attitude, like you size people up and you're like, I got this. So, people are going through challenging times every day, whether COVID or not. What are some of the tools that you use in your tool bag to kind of get through the negative? And what would you pass along to somebody just coming up, maybe thinking about a career or maybe looking to make a change? What's the attitude or the mindset you need to have to be successful, in your opinion?
Well, for one, as simple as this is, I always say follow your heart, because if you're feeling off about something like I did about basketball and decided to transition into modeling, I had no clue. I never really wanted to be a model. I was a tomboy. And so transitioning into that and just moving to Thailand all of a sudden was like, well, what is going on? But I felt it. I just felt like I need something different and God is placing this in front of me. Let's go for it. And when I get those type of feelings, I follow them. So anytime I feel an uneasiness, I think about it for a while. And that's what I would tell people. Feel your feelings. Allow yourself to feel, because if you have any type of off feeling, it's for a reason. So think about it for a second. There's no rush in this life. Just calm down, relax, take a deep breath, and decide why you're feeling that way and where it's coming from. And then once you can dissect your feelings, you can make a proper decision. But we tend to jump because we're like, oh, I got to get there. I got to do this. Like, what's next? Like, I want more. I have to like have something different in my life, when it's going to come to you. Like, God shows up. And that's another thing. I believe in God, and I'm always talking to him and trusting that I'm going to make the right decision because I allow myself to sit there and relax and not stress so much. I mean, worry puts you in a worry state, and I have a very inconsistent job. And I've always said to people, I never really stress about work though, because I know that when I start worrying, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to be even crazier. Like, my job's already like this. Who wants their body to be like this 24/7 with it? Like, no, you have to just listen, cry when you need to, yell when you need to, put on some Frank Sinatra and do a little jiggy with it when you need to. There's all these things that you can bring joy to your life. And I think it's just actually feeling your feelings and facing them.
You talk about joy, and I think that's so important, because we can relax and have a good time in our joy, and doing things that we like will relieve a lot of stress. So what are your favorite things, or 3 go-to things that you do a day that will kind of relieve stress and kind of put you in your quote unquote happy place?
Okay, well, for one, music and dancing. That's hands down. I do every day. I don't think anyone in this world, I know that you could have that little face and be upset and whatever, and like, I'm not going to dance right now. Put on some music and just get yourself up and try it and see what happens. It changes your whole mood. You can go from being super angry to happy in a matter of seconds. So music and dancing is 1. 2, writing. Writing is my greatest passion. It is what I love to do. It just flows for me and makes me feel so good. I feel like I can help so many people with what's inside me and what comes out of me, because it does come from the heart, and it does come from a place of just wanting the best for everyone. So I would say, and working out's my 3rd thing. It's definitely been my release my whole life. I have to have some type of activity throughout the week. And some days I'll be lazy. So I don't want to act like I'm sitting here over here being like, oh, let's just go crazy and work out every day and you got to be so hardcore. No, it's just movement. And at times when you're tired, sleep. Who cares? Who's judging you but yourself?
Right. You know what I love, Mel, and I think this is great about you, is you're very, very patient with yourself, and you accept who you are every single day at every minute. It sounds like to me that you're very at peace with who you are, and that's the most important part of this whole aspect. You have to be in love with yourself, and not in a cocky way, but just be comfortable in your own skin. And that's, I was really attracted to that right away because, I always thought, I love people and I never knew like if I would meet somebody or be in a relationship long term or whatever the situation was. So I had to learn to entertain myself and to be independent. And you're very independent and you're very comfortable in your own skin. And I really admire that. And it's a trait not a lot of people have. And I think that you have a lot to share and a ton to give to people. And that's a great skill to be able to sit back and kind of take it all in and then, live that,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love
um,
you. You're awesome.
no, but it's true, it's not every day is going to be easy. And I always say, if you have 6 out of 7 days that are good, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
I
and you're
like
a
this
bright
quote.
light. You know that. You're one of my bright lights in my life. I feel like sometimes we feel each other out. And I know we've said this to each other sometimes when I'm having a bad day. I swear you call or you'll be like, what's up? And I'm like, Adam, you just made me so happy.
Well,
because you have that energy too.
Well, I just, I love life and I love to be around people that have that same energy,
Yeah.
and positivity attracts positivity. And they're, every time we're together, we're laughing, we're smiling, we're doing something fun, and you want to be around that. That energy is contagious, and you
Yeah.
certainly have it. And the thing that I love is you give a damn. You really care about people on the other end. It's not just lip service, Like
Yeah.
I get it. I feel you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are passionate about people, as am I, and that's what this whole world is made up of, is people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all what we are as people. We need love. We need contact. We need conversation, and that's why it's been so challenging in this crazy world we live in now with COVID. How have you dealt with, you've always been isolated yourself by choice, but what have you realized during this time that maybe you weren't aware of before?
Probably the biggest thing I've realized is I've done so much of my life alone. I've traveled alone. I've lived alone. I mean, I feel like I've done most of my life alone, and going through COVID, being stuck, like I don't have roommates right now. I'm by myself. So being here by myself, I've really enjoyed the peace and the alone time that I get, but I've also learned that there's no trophy for doing things alone at the end of this. So it's important to connect. It's important to be with the people that you love. It's important to find people that truly support you and listen to you and value you and appreciate you. And I've always wanted to be married and have a family, but I've yet to find a man that I feel like really appreciates and values me. And what I've learned the most is I'll sit here and be alone until I find something like that, because if I don't, then I feel drained. And it's better to be alone, and I know I can do this, than to be with somebody just to say you have somebody by your side. So if I've learned anything, it's that, and that I'll just keep fighting the good fight and doing the best that I can, and God will will bring me somebody amazing.
He sure will. And I just love the confidence that, obviously you put yourself out there every day, but you said, I'm not in a rush. It will happen when it happens. When you feel right, it will feel right and things will line up. And if it won't, your gut will tell you, and you'll keep moving, because you are the most special person, and you're going to find that person. It's going to be magical.
Yeah.
It's good. I can't wait. I know it may take some time. It may take time for all of us. To anybody, out there looking, going through a difficult time. We talked about this a little earlier. The number one piece of advice that you would give to somebody is what? About, how to deal with life. We talked about challenges or what.
I would say
what. Go ahead.
I would say face your feelings. That's my number one thing, because I think we're constantly running from what we're feeling. And that's the problem. We push it down. We put it over to the side. We'll wait and come back to that. We try to work to numb ourselves, or people that have addictions, and you just go through all these things to not face your feelings, when your feelings are what is going to make your life better. And I know that's hard for people to be vulnerable, and especially men, because you guys have been taught to be tough and strong and not show your feelings. But being authentic and showing up and really coming from your heart space, I think that's when your life changes. My saying is always that we all have our shit, but it's not the same shit. As soon as we share our shit, our lives shift. And I truly believe that.
And that's great advice. So what's the first thing that you have to do? Because that can be a big, daunting task for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you peel back that slowly? Or do you just rip off the Band-Aid and go for it?
I'm a rip off the Band-Aid person, because I'm balls to the wall with everything. But I think just be kind and gracious with yourself, and know that we all make mistakes. Nobody on this planet is perfect. Nobody has all the answers. And if you're just slowly but surely treating yourself with kindness and love and understanding that you'll never be perfect, and you don't need to be perfect, that your broken pieces and the things that you've gone through in your life are beautiful. They make you who you are. And if someone doesn't love you for that, then you send them out the door with love, because you only need people in your life that are always amplifying and building you up and inspiring you and empowering you. For, so to speak, for you, you're my friend. You do the same with me all the time. Like, I love being around you. There's not a day that I've never not wanted to be around you. I could be around you every day, all the time. And it would never affect me in a negative light or way, no matter what you're going through, because I love you. I see you. I feel you. I hear you. I value you. And I think it's so important that when we have people around us doing that, we can see that within ourselves as well, because others see it and they'll show it to us. Because sometimes it's hard for us to see, and we don't want to do that for ourselves. We beat ourselves up. We're our worst critics. That's for sure.
Yes, I'm always doing that, especially, God, I should have done this, or I should have done that, or why didn't I do this? And I'm the most positive person there is in the world. And we find her, and I'm sure you do that too.
Yep.
Like, oh man, but the nice thing is we're able to sit back and say, wait a minute, we did some good here, and let's build on the good, and I'm always of the opinion, success breeds success. Positivity breeds positivity. Conversely, if you're negative and you got a shitty attitude, you're never going to be able to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
So it's good. In my opinion, it's good to take even a little bit of peace and build on the positive every day. And that's really how we become better. And also trying every day to get out of your comfort zone, because I'm sure 13 years ago when you started modeling, you must have been like, oh my God, what the hell am I doing here?
I mean, it was different. I will say that basketball helped me with that too, because basketball gave me a competitive edge, and it gave me that confidence. So when I walked in, I remember walking into because I did a lot of runway when I first started. I was a fashion model. So that's different than what I do now with the fitness stuff. So when I'd walk on a runway, it was like a game to me. I'm like, I'm about to kill this right now. So I would come in and be like pumped and get myself in that mindset, like I was about to play a game. And the same with a photo shoot. A photo shoot's kind of like you play a character. So to me, I've always been acting, because I go in and what do you need today? I need somebody that's shy and the girl next door, or I need somebody that's sexy, or I need the athletic fun girl. Like, they have all these different things that they say they want. I'm like, sometimes, wait, you guys are explaining the same stuff. Like, what is going on here? Or stuff that like contradicts itself. I mean, and you just have to be open. So I think in everything in life, being open and trying to listen to others and listening to different perspectives is what helps us live life and understand life in general, because we're all learning and growing. Nobody's ever done. We're all trying to find the answers.
Exactly. So you work on a lot of different projects. What is like your favorite thing to model, or your favorite character to play if you were a superhero? Well, what superhero would you be?
Oh, a superhero.
You can be anybody. You have to explain why.
I know. I want to make up my own character.
Yes, you can do that. What would your character be like? Tell me, come on.
Oh, she's badass for sure. I probably have a slick back ponytail like this, like come in, some leather pants looking hot, but then be able to kick your ass and also fly. I've always like wanted to fly for some reason. I think that's really cool. Just like being able, like when I watch birds and stuff and like float, like that would be a cool superhero power to have. Just all of a sudden and you're up in the air. Like how cool would that be?
It'd be awesome because you could avoid traffic. You could, like, step out of the way. Like, I'm getting out of here. 405 is back.
Yeah.
Could
you imagine if I was like, Adam, come over, we're gonna fly today. Instead of take our walks, let's go fly today.
Let's go do it. Have you ever skydived? Have you ever gone skydiving?
I haven't done skydiving yet. Have you?
No, we gotta do that.
Adam,
would you that be?
That'd be so scary, but I would maybe do it with you. I would maybe try that.
You know what would be the scariest part for me? Is the actual jumping out of the plane.
Oh, yeah, same. I don't like height. I would be so scared. Somebody have to push me out.
Right. Like I was kind of proud of myself. About a month ago, I was in Arizona visiting some friends, and there was a Ferris wheel there. And I had never been on a Ferris wheel and wanted to go on the Ferris wheel. And it wasn't that high, but I was like, oh my God, here we go. Because I don't like heights. But again, I'm always trying to, get out of the comfort zone, do something a little different, a little edgy, because that's how you expand, So maybe that's something we got to do.
Have you always been good at that? I think sometimes I get a little scared with certain things, like coming out of my comfort zone, but then I just talk myself through it. Like I said, I just face it and I'm just like, okay, just do the best you can. Like the best way to learn is experience, Melody. Like even if you don't know what you're doing right now, dive in and try.
I think I've always been of that attitude. Now that we have Keto Chris, I'm kind of more reserved and about what I might try, because I don't want to hurt the brand or do something crazy. But I've always been been of the opinion, let's freaking go for it. And I think you have to have that mentality in life and not be afraid to fail. And I'm certainly not afraid to fail. You want to look at things and try to, you obviously want to look at a situation, and if you're outnumbered, then you're outnumbered. You don't want to make a stupid decision, but you want to go for it. And, I think always trying to look at a situation and put yourself in a position to be successful. And, at the end of the day, as long as you can be with yourself, then you're good. We're going to make mistakes, but, we're going to learn from those mistakes, and we're going to get better, and we're going to keep going after it and moving forward, having fun and laughing. I think laughter is the best medicine. And you can attest to this. I pick up the phone all the time. 2 minutes into our conversation, you're laughing.
It's true. It's true.
It's
so true.
It's really fun, and that's been a great tool for me throughout my whole life, is to just laugh. Like, never take yourself too serious. Always have fun. I think. Let me pull up some more questions here.
That one was good there, because talking about being like laughing and joyful and childlike, I think I've learned the older I've gotten, me personally, I've been more scared of things, because when we're young, we don't think about it. We're just like, well, let's go. Cool. This is awesome. Right. And I wish I try to make myself get back to that place all the time. I've tried to find ways to be more childlike, because I'm like, you didn't fear anything. You just were being and having fun and enjoying things.
We get older, we realize how important time is.
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know, but then again, we, you know, oftentimes, you know, I think we can also get in our own way if we sit in our shit too much, you know. So we
Yeah.
got to keep moving. Whether you're moving to music, whether you're moving to exercise, or moving at your job, you're just always going. You know,
Yeah.
it's really cool, and it's really important to, you know, to keep, you know, to keep things moving. Let me ask you this: what is the hardest thing that you've ever had to do, like in your career or personally, or and how did you handle it?
The hardest thing I've ever had to do. Man, personally, I would think my hardest things in life, I feel like have been my relationships, romantic relationships. Because career wise, I think I've always just looked at my career as it's going to work itself out. Everything's going to be fine. And so I jumped. Like when I went to Thailand, that was my first place I ever went. I was 18 years old. And I'm like, okay, I'm leaving basketball. Let me just go. And I'm going to move to a third world country by myself. Like, who does that from Hamilton, Ohio? And my dad says that to me all the time. He's like, Melody, you would just do this. Like, he's like, sometimes I'm like, she's my child. Like, she just does it. You just go and go and go and go. And they like, I never really think about that until my dad says it. And he's like, I'm so proud of you that you're able to do those things and you inspire me. And my mom says the same thing. And I don't think about it until they say those things. But I feel like heartbreak is the worst thing in the world. It's the worst thing. It's the worst thing we go through. I don't care if you lose a job, anything. You can lose those things, material things, whatever. Who cares? They're not going anywhere with you. You come in this world naked and you leave naked. When your heart breaks, that's pain that we don't want to go through. And that's why we're so scared of it.
Why are you scared of it?
I think I would always put up walls because I was afraid that somebody wouldn't love me back like I love, and like they wouldn't support me and be there for me. And probably because I've experienced that, and I've experienced the pain like anybody else. It's not any like victimization thing or anything about me, but I know that that's caused me heartache in my life, and going through relationships where they've been unfaithful or lying or just treating me in ways that I don't deserve to be treated. And I know it's a two-way street, but I've always been scared of that. I've been scared that they can just abandon you and leave you. And I've never been that way, but I've seen people do it and I've felt it. So I'm so much the opposite of that I think sometimes I've let that fear get in my way sometimes of like, well, they can just up and leave. So like me sharing my whole self with you is such a hard and like, not even, and that's the wrong word. It's such a big thing for me to do. And when I share with you, you're family to me. I don't care if it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, anybody. When I start sharing with you and I'm with you all the time and you know I love you, I have your back for the rest of the time. So when I get broken from those relationships, friendships and romantic relationships, it's the worst feeling for me because all my eggs are in the basket. I'm there for you as a friend and as a partner in life. And so I choose quality over quantity. I don't need a lot of people in my life. The ones that I do have, I really, really, really love and treat like family. So it's devastating for me when those things happen.
Do you think, and you spoke on this before, are there practices that you do to allow you to get over that fear? Do you think about it? You know, how can I? Because it's obviously something that's you know, it's very difficult for you, or maybe challenging to you. Do you think that hinders you in your ability to be in a relationship? I'm just curious.
I think the older I've gotten, the more I've been okay with putting my heart out on the table, especially now. Now, probably in the past 2 or 3 years, I've just let my heart out there and been like, you know what, you feel this way, so say it, and just be there, Melody. Show up. If the person doesn't show up for you, you keep showing up, because that's not you. You don't have to be like them. You love them and you care about them, so show up for them, even if they don't show up for you. And I've grown into that. So I wouldn't say necessarily I fear it anymore. I think I had that fear a lot in my younger years because of the things that I went through, and it stuck with me for a while. And now I'm at the point where if you aren't showing up for me and I don't feel like you're showing me those things, I'm not going to continue to search for them and ask for them, because I do think that they come naturally. When people care about you, they will be there for you and you don't have to fight for it. I think love comes naturally. So I've gotten over that fear, and it's more so continuing to put myself out there. And if I get broken, I get broken, and the heartbreak is not fun, but I'm strong. I've learned how to deal with it, and I sit with myself. I don't care if it takes months and months or a year or however long it takes for me to get through it. I'll get through it, and then I'll be just fine.
I'm just amazed and motivated and so impressed by your will. You constantly, you're constantly just picking yourself up, not off the ground, because you're on cloud nine as it is. You're such a strong person. And we talked about sports and family, and I really think that that's so important and critical to the shaping of who you are. Talk to me about, you said quantity and quality over quantity of friends, and I firmly believe that as well. I was never the kind of person that wanted to have a gazillion friends. I just wanted to be somebody that you could count on, that had your back at all times, really valued the person individually. There's nothing more that I love to do than call somebody or text somebody to say, hey, I love you. I hope you're doing great. And, you can really tell how good a friend you are if you haven't seen them in a long time, and you can just pick up the phone and it's like yesterday. It's crazy. I'm just, it's cool to see. And I don't know if it's a question or a comment or whatever. It's a beautiful thing, and I think we share so much in common when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think that we, like you said, we both have love for people. I love listening to people and helping them as much as I can, whether that's just being a soundboard or if they ask me for advice or need me to talk. I have a lot of people that call me like that, a lot of acquaintances in my life, and then a lot of good friends. And it's always been something I've done. I'm like, I don't know. I thought about being a therapist at first, but that's not that. I wouldn't want to be robotic like that. It's just who I am as a human. I want to be there for people, but the close relationships in my life are the most important. And when you're a close relationship in my life, because my love is so, it's there for you always. It will always be there for you. I'm there for people that aren't close in my life. So the ones that are real close, you got me. And that's why I said those relationships are the ones that matter so near and dear to my heart, that if they're broken or something happens, I feel devastated. Like it feels like I got stabbed in the heart, and that takes me a while to heal from. And I always believe in allowing yourself to heal and giving you that time and space, and not like jumping at things, especially in romantic relationships. I've never been one to get out of a relationship and get right in another one. And I'm not saying that can't happen, but I honestly believe that you have to give yourself some sort of space to heal. And some people heal while they're in the relationship still, because they're like, I can't leave this and this sucks, but like, I'm starting to heal now. So when I get out, they may be able to get in a relationship.
Right.
I just get so invested. I think my investment is so huge in my life, and I put so much into it, and it's hard for me to let go of.
Well, because your heart is so beautiful, you want to give everything, and you're all in, and that's the beautiful thing about you. There's no holding back. You're doing everything you got, and you do that in everything you do, whether it's modeling, whether it's sport, whether your friendship. You're just all in, and it's you. It's all heart, baby, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing, And I admire your ability to put yourself out there every day. It takes a lot of guts and courage and confidence.
Yeah.
And and all that stuff, and to go for it is really inspiring. I want to ask you a question. If you could go to dinner with anyone who you haven't met, who would you go with and why?
I was about to say you, Adam. Come on.
Yeah.
You're my favorite dinner partner.
You go to dinner though.
I know, but you're my favorite dinner partner. Are you
Well,
kidding me? We can dance around the restaurant, have a glass of wine.
I love it. Maybe have some chocolate chip cookies.
I'm trying to think of one person, man. That's a hard one because I've never really had idols or people that I looked up to that I was like, oh my gosh, I got to meet this person. And I've met some really cool people in my life now, like that I adore. I always like older people though, for some reason. I just like the conversation more. Michael Jordan would be really cool to hear his experience with basketball and like his work ethic and like just his mentality, his focus, how he felt as a kid. And then in his teenage years to an adult, just that whole, because he's a legend in the game. And so he has a totally different perspective than anybody we could ever speak to about basketball.
You know, Mel, it's so funny you say that because if you were to ask me the same question, without a doubt, I'd say Michael Jordan. Without a doubt.
Okay, so Michael Jordan needs to have dinner with me and you. Could you imagine us three?
Can we arrange that? We gotta do it. We have to do it.
I told you. See, I told you about this podcast thing together. Watch, me and you start doing stuff together. Woo!
Let's go. So what's next for you, Mel? Well, what's on the future for you? Talk about your different things you're doing.
I got some things cooking right now behind the scenes. I'm trying to figure out, but
so can you share?
Not so much yet, but it's more in the fitness world. And you know, I have my total body band, so
yeah. Tell the audience about total body band because this is a really cool thing. And I'll never forget the day I called Mel. I said, Mel, me and Erwan, we're gonna go have dinner. He's like, Adam, I can't wait to show you this total body band. I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah.
And so go ahead, talk about the total body band.
Then I had Adam working out with the total body band on the sidewalk.
Yes.
The total body band weighs less than a pound. You can do over 100 exercises with it. It's a full body workout and also rehab. Like you can do so many things with it, stretching, rehab, warm-ups. I dance with it because, you know, I dance with everything. Plyometrics. It's one of the greatest tools, I think. And it's so small. You can just you can travel and take it anywhere and get your full body workout in. So when I came upon this with my partners, I was just like, we have to do this and push this out into the world. And I was so excited about it. And it was probably the only product that I felt my heart felt so excited about and happy about. And I was like, you know what, I can do this because I'm in this. And fitness has always been a big part of my life. So to have a little baby, so to speak, in the fitness world, because that's what I feel like Total Body Band is, my little child. I just love putting it out there and showing people what it can do and how it can help your life and make everyone just move. And even if it's 10 minutes a day, you get out there and you enjoy yourself and move your body. And it's just good for our health. I'm so happy to be a part of this and to share this with the world and show them what the Total Body Band can do. So that's one of my things that I'm definitely working on, and some other things in the fitness realm as well. And then hopefully She-Ball, my movie, comes out soon and I can get more into the acting side of things because I keep trying to manifest that I want to do a TV show. If I could just get a lead role in a TV show and it be a continuous series, I'd be so happy, because then it'd be a consistent job for once in my life that I love to do. And I would have this role and I could really like dive into this character and then hopefully meet the man of my dreams and have my children one day, and also have that as like the thing that I love to do. And I'd still be able to create, because creating it's in my blood. And, with my writing as well, I have so many things up my sleeve and on my plate right now that I'm thinking of. It's just getting them out into the world.
What character on that TV show would you play?
I really want to do romance movies. When we go into so if it was a romance like TV show, I would love to do that. Or the complete opposite, where I'm a badass action character and like coming in like what's that movie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, with Angelina Jolie? You know,
Right.
with her and her husband, we're coming out. Yeah, I would love to play that kind of role.
It depends on what day, but you can play both of them. You can play badass or the sweet
Yeah,
ass
because that's
mom.
kind of like a badass romantic film. Like they're in love with each other. They got the hot, spicy connection, and then they want to kick each other. They want to kill each other. So
Right.
I'm like, this is actually, yeah, that might be my role right there, Adam. Let's just
Right.
create that movie or
Because
show.
you want to kick their ass and then give them a kiss. Exactly.
Hey, that's life. That's a lie. That's a relationship.
You're 100% right, because not every day is going to be beautiful. But if you
True.
have that connection with that person, the willingness to want to work it out, everything will take care of itself, and just be true to your heart.
You could not say truer words to my soul right now. It's the effort. It's the love that you have for someone that you will never turn your back on them. And I just feel like we've lost sight of that. I look at like the older generations, and I know there's more going on in our world right now and technology and all of that, but it's in us because it's in me. I'm like that. When I commit to somebody, like you said, I'm all in, and I'll be all in for the rest of my life. There is no turning which way. I don't understand that. I have tunnel vision. I'm with that person and that's it. And that's really hard to find. It's really hard to find somebody that you feel like has your back forever and is always going to be there for you, because everyone's like this. What else can I get? What's going on? I want more. I want more. I want more. And I'm like,
It's
I've
right
never thought
there in
like that.
front of you.
Yeah.
It's right there in front of you. Live it, love it, nurture it.
Hey, freaking men. Keep preaching, Adam. Keep preaching.
It's just from the heart, and it's just, when you find that person, it'll just come out naturally. It won't be rehearsed. It'll be so authentic. It'll feel so great.
Yeah.
It's just,
I love that. Live it, love it, nurture it. Oh, nurture it. It's so that's the greatest one right there. Because like you said, there are good times and bad times, and you have to have that person have your back and still be there even in the bad times. They love you through it, and you might want to kill each other. There's going to be times where you're like, oh my God, I can't stand this person. He or she is so annoying. They're driving me nuts. And then you walk away for a second, or you do your thing, and you're like, but I love them. Like, that's my person. That's my best friend. I got them. I'm not going anywhere. You're just driving me nuts today.
Right. Go shopping, get the hell out of my face, and come back, and I love it. That's life, and that's real. That's real. Like, I want to be in the bunker with you. Like, I'll go to war with you.
Yeah. With you. That's the greatest word you just said. With you.
Right.
Teamwork.
With you. 100%. And there's only a handful of people that I can put on that hand. No disrespect to anybody.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing to be able to find those people and to hold on to them. And
Amen.
It's work. It's work, but it's completely worth it, and something that we will cherish for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
I love your smile, dude. It's just the greatest. I mean, it's just so fun. You're just laughing all the time. I could just
stop.
I love it. What else can we talk about? So today, before we got on the CanDo Podcast, I asked Mel what she was doing, and she said she's looking at some old pictures of when she was modeling. You've been in this modeling game now for 13 years. What is the biggest change that you've seen, and how have you adapted?
Ooh, Adam. Social media, definitely the biggest change. Changed the game completely in the industry, and for so many people, not even just modeling, acting, photographers, makeup artists, everyone, hair and makeup, just, it's all over the spectrum. And I feel like even in business, Instagram and Facebook and all of these social apps have changed so many things that it's now a part of our packages as models. So like, you have to have a certain number of following to even be in the agencies, and they send your Instagram with your comp cards now. So they see your social media along with your comp card and what you've done, or your portfolio.
Isn't that a joke?
Yeah, it's crazy. The rates have changed. Oh, the rates have changed.
For
There's
better,
still
for
some
worse.
good things. There's still some good things going on, but the rates have definitely changed. And like, I've talked to a lot of girls in the modeling industry, and we all feel the same. We're like, oh my gosh, it's killing us, because there's so many girls now because of social media, and they'll kind of lowball because they want to be a model, or they're doing these things. They're like, I'll take this. And now you're screwing us in the rates that we used to get. And also, just like, I understand that there's like, growth that happens in the world and things are ever changing and all of that, but it's kind of like, it made us feel like it went backwards. Like, we paid our dues, but now we're starting all over again because you have to have social media.
Right. So how much time a week you spend on social media? Just curious.
No, I'm terrible at it.
What do you
I do
mean?
my,
Your channel's my favorite. You've got more
I know.
inspiring quotes. I mean, today's post was beautiful. Was I'm smiling not because I might not have a great day. Wait, what happened to you?
What happened? Hold on. Okay, I'm
We're
back. Am
good.
I back? Yeah.
Yeah. No. No. Today's post was great. It was I'm smiling, maybe not because I'm having the greatest day, but I'm smiling because finish the sentence. It was great. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I said I'm smiling because it helps me with the uncertainties in life. Like, my
Yes.
life isn't always perfect, but it helps me with the uncertainties, because I don't want people to think I'm just up here like happy go lucky 24/7. I'm not. Like, I
Right.
do my best to be happy, and I do my best to stay in that high vibration all the time, but I go through a lot of pain. Like, you would have, and most wouldn't know because I'm not sharing my personal life like that on there. I share as much as I possibly can, and I share to help people, because I started sharing more because of modeling, and you had to have this social media platform. And then I was like, I went through the stages of like trying to be the sexy girl, and like, the this Instagram kind of girl model, and it wasn't me. It never really felt right, but I could do it. And I'm like, whatever, I can do it. I can play this game. It's fine, Melody. Like, and I would write. I started doing that, and then I would write, and I'd be like, okay, well, at least people can read my messages, so they can feel my heart and feel my words, even if I am like being the typical Instagram model girl or sexy girl. And then I started to transition, now that I'm like, you know what, I'll still post the things that I want to post. If I want to post my friends on there too, and I want to post like me doing different things that doesn't necessarily have to do with my job, I'm going to do that. But I'm also still going to write. And that's why I started my blog, Moments with Melody, because writing has always been such a huge passion of mine. And I think that God gave me that gift to put these messages out into the world and to help people and be there for people. And that's my greatest thing about social media, is I have people reach out to me that are going through tough times all the time and ask me for advice, or just tell me that I look forward to seeing your post every day, because they help my day. They help brighten my day, and they've helped my life, or people going through health issues. Like, you've made us so happy during these times. And I'm like, wow, like, okay, I'm doing something here. I'm making an impact. If one person tells me that, I feel like on top of the world. It can literally, one person telling me that can make me like through the roof for a week. I swear, it's like crazy. So that's the reason I do it. Like, I love doing it for that reason, but I'm not on social media a lot. Like, scrolling is what I mean. I suck at that. Like, I suck at like spending a bunch of time on social media and like, oh, let me just scroll and look through all of these things and like these things. Cause you have to do that for engagement and to create, like, you using the app all the time. It helps, I think, with like building your following and your engagement. And the way the algorithm works is they want you to go on other people's pages and like their stuff and comment on their stuff. And I do it for my close friends, the people I care about, but I'm not just on there aimlessly scrolling all day long. I don't do that. Like, so technology really isn't my thing. If we didn't have to have this for business, I could delete my thing tomorrow. And I would never do that, because I like to help people. So I will be there for people as much as I possibly can. But for my own, like, having it to be out there in the world and for you to see me, no, like, I could delete that in a second and go live in a cabin and chill and talk to my people on the phone and they can come visit me.
Right. And people would visit you from all over the place, because you just bring that energy, that love, that fun, that excitement everywhere you go. Like, love and spirit is infectious. And I'm just So honored to call you my friend. I love you so, so much. I want to leave you with one thing that I'm trying to end this podcast with. What is your one can-do moment in life where maybe you thought, you know, I don't know, but I'm gonna give this thing a try and I can do it. What's a can do? What's your number one can do moment in your life? For me, I'll give you an example, is my weight loss journey and starting Keto Chris. I had
Mm-hmm.
no idea 2 years ago I'd be in the bar business, but I knew that I wanted to connect with people and I knew that I wanted to make my life better by losing weight, one of them. And I was 60 pounds overweight, and changing my lifestyle in terms of eating has been tremendous for me. It's opened up so many doors and allowed me to connect with so many people with Keto Chris. It's been so great. So share with me your can-do moment.
I mean, my one at a young age was leaving my basketball scholarship and deciding to model out of nowhere. Like that was like, okay, I can do this. I'm not happy anymore. I don't love this anymore. And I just was like, I'm going for it. I'm going to try it and we'll see what happens. And I never look back 13 years later. So I think that was one of my greatest can-do moments because it completely changed the path of my life. Like, look where I'm at now. I would have never experienced what I've experienced. I would have never traveled the world. I wouldn't have met the people that I've met. I might still be in Ohio.
All right, dude. We're ending this podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening on the CanDo Podcast. Have a great day, everybody. Till the next time. We're out.
Guys.
Peace. Bye.